Today, I'm going to break down the all-new Gogokid application process and do a full breakdown of the new Gogokid demo lesson slides. So luckily, if you're here, the Gogokid application process has changed as of November 2nd, 2020. They've actually gotten rid of the mock class, so you only need to do one 10-minute demo and then you'll know if you got the job or not. So it's a lot faster than it's ever been before. First, I'm going to go over what exactly the new Gogokid application process looks like, and then I'm going to do a step-by-step tutorial of the new Gogokid demo slides. Hey, I'm Danie of HeyDanieJ.com, and this channel is dedicated to online teachers always wanting to improve and eventually venture into entrepreneurship as I help teachers build their brands online, and I also have an e-commerce store aligned in the online teaching community. If that's something that interests you, then definitely hit subscribe and click the notification bell for every time I post a new video, and I will always post updates about Gogokid's application process as well. Okay, so let's dive right into the new Gogokid interview. If you would like to follow along with this, I have a link to this blog post down below and have all the information that you need. If you are one of my referrals, then you will have all of the printouts that I reference, and I'm going to show you those as well. If you aren't my referral, then you can honestly just make these printouts on Canva, okay? So no worries if you have a different referral. This is just a good idea to have some of these printouts, and you will have already been sent these if you are one of my referrals, okay? And again, like I said, you can still add a referral later on, even if you've started. So just shoot me an email at Danie@HeyDanieJ.com. Okay, so here I just go over the new Gogokid application process, and that is that you're going to first sign up and fill out your basic info, and here are all the requirements. So you have to be from the US or Canada, and it doesn't mean you have to actually be living in the US or Canada, but you need to be eligible to work in the US or Canada without a visa. You need a bachelor's degree. You must have some experience working with kids, whether that's formal or informal. You need an ESL certification. So that's either a TESOL, TEFL, or CELTA. And if you need an inexpensive TESOL, I have a link down below. I have it linked here as well. The one that I use is only $19. It took me like a half a day to do. It says it's 120 hours, but it did not take that long. So it's a really good deal. I use it for Gogokid and VIP Kid. There's a link to that course as well. You will need it to apply to Gogokid, and I highly recommend that you get it before you fill out your basic information, because if you say that you're going to get it before you get the job, I think that it hurts your base rate pay. It's better to just have it beforehand, and this one's really cheap, and you're needing one anyway, so it's the one that I recommend to my referrals. Then you will just complete the 15-minute recorded demo lesson for Gogokid. It's actually only 10 minutes, but those 3 minutes you're going to be talking about yourself, which I'm going to go over, okay? Then you'll have an orientation quiz. If you have any questions about the orientation quiz, just let me know. I've had some people have some questions going through it. And then you'll submit your paperwork and sign the agreement. It's so much faster than before. So really good news, okay? Here we have Gogokid has sent this out. This is their process with the times on the right-hand side as well to see. You should be able to get through this very quickly. Now here I have more information on how to get you direct help from me, okay? And then let's just move right into the Gogokid interview demo lesson, okay? So I cannot actually show you the slides, unfortunately, but if you're my referral, then I have sent you a PDF with this, with all of the slides that go along with it. Unfortunately, I can't have the slides out on my blog or on YouTube, so I'm just going to be going through it. So once you've signed up for your interview or you pass your basic information, you'll have access to the slides that I'm referring to. So I recommend you pull up those slides alongside me here, and we can go through it together, okay? So slides 1 and 2 are the welcome and about Gogokid slides. So you don't even need to worry about these two. You can just say hello, when you click start, and just click the arrow and head right to slide number 3. Slide number 3 is going to be a little bit about you. Okay, so you're going to be talking about these 6 things, and you want to make sure you hit all of them. I recommend having a little post-it note on the side, so because you'll be a little bit nervous, it's better to just have it out there for you. So you'll say your full name, where you're from, your time zone, your educational background, the type of ESL certificate you have. Okay, again, there's that link to that $19 course if you need one. And then you want to talk about what online and offline teaching experience you have. And this is so key, is remember to only talk yourself up. And I have helped hundreds of applications through the Gogokid application, so I know that this is something that people struggle with. Never use the word but. So I have a lot of people who record themselves practicing and they'll send it to me and they'll say, I don't have online teaching experience, but I have yada, yada, yada. If you don't have online teaching experience, don't say it. Just say the strengths, okay? Only talk yourself up. So if you don't have that online teaching experience, just talk about the experience that you do have. Like, I was a Sunday school teacher for this amount of years. I volunteered at an ESL program at this elementary school, whatever it may be. Talk up all your strengths. You don't need to talk about any of the negatives here, okay? Moving on, on slide 4, you are going to share your expectations, okay? So GoGoKid lists 3 things that you need to talk about, and that's what hours you expect to teach. So I always recommend it's better to estimate high than low because it's just an estimate. The GoGoKid has no minimum hours that you're required to teach. So I really think it's better to aim high, right? Then you will talk about the expected pay per month. So how much are you trying to make per month? And then expected pay rate. And GoGoKid pays between $7 to $10 per 25-minute class. And I always say it's better to aim high than aim low because the worst that they can say is no. So say something high, shoot high, and then give a reason. So I give a reason here, like I would say, I would like a base rate pay of $10 because I have a master's in ESL and I have 2 years of online teaching experience, right? That's a great way to say, this is what I think I deserve and this is why, okay? So give a reason for why. Now let's move on to slide 5. Slide 5 is going to just give you some tips for teaching your demo. This is from GoGoKid. So this says that GoGoKid says that the demo is only 10 minutes, and I say practice yourself recording these slides and working on getting it around 10 minutes, okay? So the time doesn't start until you actually get onto the next beginning slide, so don't worry about that. But make sure to smile throughout, be really excited, even if you're not that like really jovial, crazy teacher. And I assume if you're watching my videos, then maybe you're not as like, there's different personalities. That's what I love about this job is that I know I can be a little more subdued and there are other teachers that are more energetic and that works for their kids and it works for my kids. But just know it's better to be more energetic with this interview, okay? So even if that's not you, no worries, but just, try and have some energy, okay? Because you're pretending to be teaching a smaller kid. They want to see that you can bring that energy to the classroom. And then make sure that you're only using short sentences and simple language. You are also going to need at least 2 types of props and cutouts. So I have cutouts that you can use. And then GoGoKid also has their own reward system that they're going to have you pretend to use, which we'll get into in a second. Number 5 is use TPR throughout the entire GoGoKid lesson. And TPR is total physical response. That's just a fancy way of saying use a lot of hand gestures, okay? Which I'll also show you how to do throughout when I go through the breakdown. GoGoKid asks that you be patient, give the student lots of guidance. So we're going to show how we correct errors and things. Also, we are going to pretend to use the GoGoKid built-in reward, okay? So I'm going to show you how to do that as well. GoGoKid's reward is magic crystals. And when you hover over the student's picture actually in the classroom, you'll be able to give out magic crystals. But because this is a recorded interview, you're not going to be able to give out those magic crystals. So we're just going to pretend, and I'm going to go through this in a second and show you how we can pretend to do that. And then a secondary reward. And I give you some ideas of some secondary rewards that could be, maybe you give ice cream scoops, or you have a puppet and the puppet can give out stars to the student. Or I have my reward, and if you're a referral of mine, then I have this for you in your cutouts. I thought because the words for this class are making, I and I's. So in my reward, my secondary reward, I'm going to be making a face, okay? Now, GoGoKid also says pretend the student makes mistakes and positively give error correction, which we will do. Encourage as much student output as possible. So you want to be making sure you're really using that TPR to make sure that whenever you say something, the student is saying something back to you, okay? And we'll also go through this as well. And then GoGoKid also says don't skip any slides. So don't skip any slides. All right, slide number 6 of the GoGoKid interview demo slides is explaining what the yellow triangle is. And that's just saying that when you see a yellow triangle on the slides, it means that the student has made some sort of an error and we need to correct it, whether that's a pronunciation or behavior. So that's showcasing your skills to teach ESL online, and we'll go through all of that. And this example they have on this slide that you will see, they say that the student is mispronouncing the word I, and we need to teach the sound. Okay? Slide number 7 is ready, set, go, go, kid. So this is just a transition slide that explains that the Gogokid demo begins on the next slide, and to make sure that you pace yourself to teach it in about 10 minutes, okay? There will be a timer in class because you'll have to click start, but you're going to be clicking through these other slides and talking about yourself and your base rate pay first. So I honestly recommend just like having your phone on the side with the timer out already, and you can just click start when you get on to slide 8, and that way you have a reference that's working right, starting at 0 in real time next to you, so you can pace yourself. I think that's what's easiest, but that's just what I've seen work for my referrals, whatever you feel most comfortable with. Slide 8 is the first slide of the Gogokid interview and demo lesson. So when you click on the slide, if you click, it's going to show a book, and the teacher in the book is going to say, "Hi, I am teacher." So that's you. So this is where I would say, "Hi, I am teacher Danie. What is your name?" And then I would go like this to show I wanted the student to say his or her name. So let's pretend you can make up whatever name you want for your student. So let's pretend my student's name is Tom. Tom? Hi, Tom. I am Tom. Good. Hi, Tom. Okay, then you can click on the book again. When you click on the book again, it will show the student saying, "Hi, I am." When you click the book another time, it's going to show the teacher saying, "I am happy." Okay, so I have cutouts for this. So I would say, "Tom, I am happy. How are you? Are you happy? Sad? Happy? Good. I am happy. I am happy. Good, Tom. Okay, so I am getting the student to answer my question, and I'm having the student repeat it in a full sentence, okay? That's really key, and you see I'm counting out the words with my fingers. That's one of the best ways to get the student to understand I am happy. This works well in the actual classroom too. I'm always counting out words so students understand. It really helps them just kind of follow along, okay? So that is this slide. And then you can also introduce the reward slide here if you would like. So, for example, I could say, "Tom, when you do a good job, you will get a magic crystal." Okay, and we can't give out magic crystals right now. "And we will make a face." Ooh. Okay. All right, so I introduce my reward, and then I move on to the next slide. So slide 9 is the what do you have slide for the Gogokid demo lesson. And this is just a title slide, so you don't really have to do that much here. You can circle some of the Gogokid characters. I have the cutouts if you're my referral that I sent to you. And at this point in this lesson, the student should know you can assume the student knows these Gogokid characters. So like you could circle Alex on this slide and say, "Tom, what do you see? What do you see?" And I love, if you have props, make sure you're using the camera to your advantage. Like bring things close, bring things far away, make it more engaging, right? So I could bring up my Jack cutout and say, "Good. Hi, Jack. I see Jack." Good. Okay, so whatever you want to do here, you can just kind of talk a little bit about one of the characters and say hi, and then you can introduce a lesson. You can say, "Tom, today we will learn about faces. Today we will learn about faces. Faces." Good. Okay. If you want, again, right, it's not saying that I have to get that student output to say faces, but you know what? I'm showing that I have those TPR skills, I'm going to have Tom repeat basis, and that's up to you, right? But I try and have my students repeat as much as possible, and that's another thing that GoGoKid tells its applicants, to make sure you're getting as much student output as you can, okay? Now let's move on to slide number 10, and that's teaching I and I's, okay? So when you click on this slide, it says instructs for you to click on the slide. You're going to see that a magnifying glass is going to appear, and when you click again on it, it will circle one of Jack's eyes, and then the word I will appear, and it will say I, okay? And you're going to teach the word I here. And when you're teaching a new word, you always want to make sure that you are having the student repeat it at least 3 times. So I would get your I cut out and say, I, 1 eye. Yes, 1 eye. Good. Okay, so I had Tom repeat it several times, and then I also had him repeat the 1 eye. The 1 eye, because that's important. That's something we're working on. This is 1 eye, and then you can click on the slide again, and it will circle both of Jack's eyes, and the audio will say eyes, and the word will change to eyes. Okay, and then okay. Sorry, one thing we missed though, before we move on to 2 eyes, is that there is a hazard symbol, okay? And so you want to make sure that you correct the pronunciation of I. So what I would do, so we're just pretending, so I would say, good, I, good, I. Good, Tom. Okay, that's how I would show I'm correcting the pronunciation, by showing the mouth structure. That's how I would do it, okay? However you want to correct that, show how you would do it in your classroom by correcting that. Make sure you do that, and it will be reminded to you on that slide, because there will be that hazard symbol, so no worry. Okay, now here we're going to click again, and it will circle both of his eyes, and we'll teach the word eyes. Okay, so eyes. Eyes. 2 eyes. 2 eyes. So I'm saying it in funny voices. We're working on the 2 eyes. And then again, too, you could even bring out the 1 eye. 2 eyes. Yes! Good job, Tom. Okay, and then we praise the student. We can pretend to give out a magic crystal. So I would say, good job, Tom. And maybe I could just go like, I'm pretending to give it. You get a magic crystal. So I would say, you get a magic crystal. We can't actually give them out, right? And then I would give out my secondary reward. So in this case, my secondary reward is my face. So I would say, Tom, okay, 1 eye or 2 eyes? 1 eye? Good. Okay. I pick 1 eye. I pick 1 eye. Good. Okay, ready? Oh, 1 eye. Yes. Good job, Tom. Okay. So I like this word because it's working on the word, and it's working on the words, and it's funny. So that's what I decided to do. Okay, then we just move on. Remember, you don't have to do any of the transitions. We move on to slide 11. Slide 11 is, what do you have? Okay? So you can click on Jack, and you will see Jack walking and have a magnifying glass, and he will say, what do you have? And so we will work on this with the student before we click anything else. What do you have? Good. What do you have? What do you have? And you can break it up. Maybe it could be, what do you have? Okay, but break it up and have the student repeat it with you. And then you can click the slide again, and baby uni will come out. Baby uni is like the little egg. And baby uni will say, I have 2 eyes. And then we work on the sentence with the student in the same way. I have 2 eyes. Very good. Okay, so now we want to practice asking and answering the question, but GoGoKid has a hazard sign there. And they say that the student repeats the teacher's question instead of answering. And this is something actually really common that a lot of students will do is you'll teach a sentence and a question and an answer, and the students will just repeat the question back to you. So what I love to do is I will use a puppet. So we will first try and get Tom to respond. So we'll say, Tom, what do you have? Okay, so I'm showing that Tom didn't quite get it, right? So I'm going to bring up my puppet and say, Lion, what do you have? I have 2 eyes. Good. Teacher, what do you have? I have two eyes. Tom, what do you have? Yes, very good. So I taught that concept with my puppet. Okay, so if you don't have a puppet, then maybe use one of the cutouts that I gave to you, or use a stuffed animal, or whatever it may be. Puppets are the best way to explain that you're wanting the student to answer. I actually use this in class all of the time. Okay. Then you can praise the student, good job, and switch to slide number 12, which is listen and say. So slide number 12 is reading AI, and that actually means that the student is expected to repeat the sentence into this microphone in the classroom, and artificial intelligence will tell how well they repeated it. And then little Uni will come out and give them, go, and it will give them 1, 2, or 3 gems. It's kind of creepy, but it can really listen to them, so it's pretty cool. So how I practice this is when I first get to this slide, I will get out my microphone. So my first, you have this microphone cut out, and we will practice saying this sentence, okay? And and the sentence is, I have 2 eyes, okay? So what I will do is I'll get on my microphone and I'll say, I have 2 eyes. And I'll put the microphone up to Tom to show him that when I put the microphone up, it means I want him to repeat. Good. I have 2 eyes. I have 2 eyes. Good, Tom. Okay, ready? And then I will click start. And there's not actually a student there, so they're not going to be able to say it. So we're just going to pretend. So I'll click start in the classroom, and you'll be able to see this with the slides they gave you. You'll click start, and you'll be able to see it once you get into the live classroom as well. And when you click it, the voice in the classroom will say, I have 2 eyes, and then you'll just need to go like this. Right? Because we already practiced, we know that this mic means a student to repeat. So we're doing this when we click in and we click the play sound and it wants a student to repeat, we just go like this. And then Tom can repeat the sentence to the artificial intelligence, okay? And then you'll have to click end yourself because there's obviously not a student there. And you are done. And you can praise the student and say, good job, Tom. You get a magic crystal. Woohoo! Okay, Tom, 1 eye. Yes. Okay. Let's see. Tom, and I will get out my other mouth. So I have some mouth cutouts. Mouth. Ba-ba-da-ba. Oh. Mouth. Yes, good job, Tom. Okay, so I give out my reward, and then we will move on and go to slide 13, which is what letter is it? Okay, then you'll click on the slide, and a big and a small A will appear on an apple image. And here we have a hazard sign. So GoGoKid says that the student is distracted by a toy, and you need to pull their attention back in. So I always do this by, again, I swear by puppets. So I use a puppet or use a stuffed animal to get the student's attention back. So I will grab my my puppet, and let's pretend that the student is distracted. So I'll click on the big and small A, and I'll say, Tom, what do you see? Oh, Tom. Oh, Tom. Hello, Tom. Where are your eyes? Tom, look. Eyes. Good, Tom. Eyes. Yes, okay, look. Tom, what What letter is it? Okay, so I pulled the student back in. We asked a question. We got the student to show the eyes. Okay, Panda pulled them back in. So however you would do that in your actual classroom. So you don't have to do it my way. Do it however, whatever fun way you would actually think of to pull your students' attention back in, because you're going to have to do this, okay? Sometimes you're going to have a 4-year-old that's just, does not want to listen to you. So be creative and think of a fun way to pull the student back in. Like, I've got unicorns, I've got squishies in my classroom, whatever I think the student's feeling, if I need to pull them back in. For some students, that's just being like, Tom! Don't do that here, okay? But use a puppet or something, pull the students' attention back in, and then ask, what letter is it, okay? Yes, A. Big A. Little A. Yes, good. Big A. Little A. Yeah, so we repeat this with the student about 3 times, okay? Have the student say it again. And then we say, good job, and we move to slide number 14, which is writing big and small a. So when we get to this slide again, we can say, oh, Tom, what letter is it? Yes, good job, Tom. So even though there's not a student there, I'm pretending, right? I'm pretending the student is giving me output, right? So showing that you're always wanting to get the student to answer without always giving away the answer, right? That's huge, is to be able to show that you can try and get the student to give you more than you are giving them in terms of, having them remember the vocabulary and the letters you're working on. So, you can ask the student to click the pencil. If you'll see, there's a big and small A, and there's a pencil. And the pencil, when you click it, will start tracing the big A. So you have your clicker cutouts. If you're a referral, you have this. I recommend getting one. If you're not, you can get one on Canva. They have some free ones. So you could say, Tom, can you click? And then I should probably have a pencil. So normally I would have, can you click the pencil? Good, and there's no students, we're just pretending we can click it ourselves, and we can click it and it will trace big A and small a, okay? And big A, good, click small a, good, small a. So you're pretending then you're clicking small a, but pretend the student has done it, and then you say it again with them, okay? And then Gogokid would like you to have the student use the pen tool in the classroom to trace over the big and small A. So there's a hazard symbol here, though. So Gogokid instructs that the student doesn't understand the teacher's instructions to trace a letter. So this is where we do something that Gogokid calls I do, we do, you do, okay? So I'm going to say, Tom, can you trace big A? So, right, I'm realizing Tom doesn't know what to do, so I'm going to do it first. Okay. And then in the classroom, I want you to trace over big A. Big A. Okay, Tom, can you trace big A? Let's say write. Write is a word that's easier to know. Tom, can you write big A? Good, yeah, so that was the I did, and then we did as he traced over me. Now I want you to do, right? I do, we do, you do. So I want Tom to do small a all by himself. Good, okay, Tom, can you write small a? Good job, we're pretending he did it. Awesome job, we praise the student, okay? Very good, so let's move on now to slide 15. We're almost done. You are going to practice the question and answer, what do you have? I have 2 eyes, okay? And you can bring out your puppet to make it more engaging if you want. And so Gogokid recommends that you can use the onstage function to put your face into the screen. The onstage function looks like this. So it is this button right here. When you click it for your own self, it will take your face and put it in a circle, like you'll have a little circle, and it'll put it into the PowerPoint. So it's kind of fun. So you can be in the PowerPoint and you can say, we can go, what do you have? I have 2 eyes. Okay, and have the student say it back. Or you can just go up, you can do this function and you can say it yourself. I have 2 eyes. Okay, Tom, and you can put yourself back. If you click this again, it will bring you back to the left-hand side, and you could say, okay, Tom, your turn, and you could pretend like you were putting him into the classroom and say, Tom, what do you have? Yes, woohoo, good job, Tom. Okay, you can practice this here with the student. Praise the student again. Say, Tom, you get a magic crystal. You get a magic crystal. Okay, and then maybe I give out a number. Tom, oh, what is it? Nose. We get a nose. Ba-ba-da-ba. Yes. Mouth. Nose. Eye. One eye. Yes. Okay. So that's just, I love this word because we're working on a lot of different things here. So woohoo, good job. Okay. And then slide number 16, you're just going to grab your mic, and it says that the student should be able to do this, sing this independently. Okay. So you can just click it and dance along and pretend like you're doing it with the student. After the song, if you want some brownie points, maybe work on the two eyes. Good. Showing you can correct that pronunciation at all times. So that's just a little bonus point for you if you want to do that. Okay. Slide number 17 is goodbye. So you can tell the student you did an awesome job today. You can review a word or a sentence if you want, and then give out your last magic crystal. Woohoo. And then your last secondary reward here. Slide 18, you're all done. Okay. So Gogokid tells you here, and please, I have so many people so confused by this. And so know now that you can just exit the classroom when you're done. You do not have to click finish. I know it seems like it doesn't save, but it does save. Okay. So you can just exit out. No problem. It's still going to say book an interview on the interview page because it won't process until about 24 hours. So don't be worried like you have to book another interview. Just know to wait about 24 hours and you'll see the system's updated that it's logged that you have completed your interview, okay? And Gogokid says you should hear back in 2 to 3 days. And if you don't hear back from Gogokid in like 4 to 5 days, then send me an email and I can send in a ticket for you. Or I also recommend you do send an email to teach@teachers.gogokid.com if you don't hear back in that 2 to 3 day business day window. Okay, some last pointers. If you want to know what my Gogokid Classroom Essentials are, what you're going to need as a Gogokid teacher, I have a link on my website, and you can find it in this post as well for all of the things that I use. I'm definitely minimalist. I don't use a lot of things. I travel a lot. Pre-COVID, I travel a ton, so I'm definitely have a minimalist classroom. So these are the things that you will really actually just need, not the extras. So if that's helpful for you, check that out. Also, in November, Gogokid is still running this $300 incentive. So I have a video, check it out. That's all about that. Or you can come to this post you can get to from here as well and read all about how you can qualify to get that extra Gogokid new teacher incentive. That's $300. So they're definitely in a hiring boost, and bookings have been really high. So that's good news. All right. Well, I hope that this has been so helpful for you. Let me know if you have any questions. My email is Danie@heydaniej.com. And I just hope that you do awesome on your interview. I know if you might be nervous, everyone is nervous. So just know going in, I know it can be a little nerve-wracking, but you have got it. And if you practice by recording yourself, then it really does help, I promise you. So practice recording yourself doing it, and you should be good to go. All right. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you next time.